Welcome back. We've got a mag review to do today, and this time we're going to do live coaching. So if you want, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Lunimar. I've been playing Venom since Season 0. Mostly only Venom. I picked up Angela on her release, and now I'm two-tricking them, but it kinda got hard with the support meta, and I decided to start learning Anchor Tanks, starting with Mag.
All right, perfect. So this is going to be a big transition from off tank to main tank. It's something that I've definitely struggled with. It's very different, but yeah, let's go see what we can learn. We started off the VOD late because we started on Angela and we're switching, so for any confusion. And for our other tank, we have Hulk. Hulk is going to be weird. Okay. Welcome to the frontline trenches for real. Okay, I don't mind this. Nice. Could use a shield. So already it's going to be difficult because we're playing frontline tank on a domination. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. So what did we die here? What's going on in our back line? We have... Dude, he blew up. So with Mag, your positioning matters significantly more because when you're playing like Venom or Angela, you can get out really quickly, right? You can just swing. So with Mag, you have to really hold the walls and like know where you're committing to before you really get started. Nice. Okay, just help. Nice, good bubble. Okay, so if you're gonna try to shield from like a Hela ult or a Star-Lord ult or something like that, I wouldn't look up at the Hela, because if you look at it from Hela's perspective, like she just knows where not to shoot, right? It's better if you find your teammate that you need to shield and go to them instead. That's just going to make it a lot easier. We're already starting off so chaotic though, because we don't have like a neutral start. Oh yeah, Churro makes a good point. Do you know the mag animation cancel with left click, right click?
Yeah, I did it a couple of times already.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought, but...
I require some aid. You shall not be harmed.
Nice. I don't see anything too bad so far. You have bubbled your Hulk a little bit, a couple times, and I feel like your bubble's just a little too early. We'll see the next time we bubble.
I feel like myself again.
Okay, something to think about when you're playing a frontline tank is where you stand, right? So when you stand here, like what space does that really give your team? Right? It kind of, everybody gets squished here. Now this isn't necessarily bad, but it's something that you have to be really conscious of as Mag. Like everybody's going to anchor around you. So like if you're over here, your team is a little bit more open. Whereas here they're kind of like crammed. So something to really keep in mind. And I like that you backed up. I don't like sitting up there, so I'm perfectly fine with this. All right. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, spicy. Do you usually use mag ult to cancel out Gambit?
I will never again. The jumps are too hard to aim at.
Yeah, it's definitely something that can be done. I've seen a lot of good mags do it, but it requires a lot of practice. So, yeah. It's also, you're in a situation where there's nothing too crazy that you can cancel out with mag except for Hela ult. So it's not like the worst play. I don't mind it, but it's pretty difficult to hit. That's a good bubble. Good bubble. Alright, so with mag, you have to... We talked about this a lot yesterday. You have to like demand respect from the enemy team. Okay, this is really loud for me. So the way you don't get shut down, right? Because I feel like we're really passive here. We're kind of watching other people and we're enabling other people. We're not making plays. So in order to do that, you have to pick one person and basically like bully them and demand respect from them. So right here we have a Namor, like kind of walking up, and he doesn't respect you at all because you're not really a threat to him, right? If you're right next to a mag, it should be pretty scary. And that kind of keeps going through this whole fight where we don't really pick somebody. We're kind of splitting our damage to whoever here. Right here, that's a pretty decent job. You push the Strange back. Now we're trying to focus the Namor. We're just kind of poking. We already talked about that. So here again, we want to just pick one and like stick with them. Okay. Yeah, we're just switching targets so much. It's so tough as mag. All right, this will be a lot easier on second point. Let's see.
This entire
Uh-oh.
world is a living mass.
Yay, rocket.
Would be
I also like taking pot shots at enemy supports over the enemy tank's shoulder and forcing them to react. Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
You are under my protection.
Oh my. You got blown up. Okay, so what are you thinking here? What do you think you could have done better, or how would you adjust?
I think this time I got stuck in the animation and couldn't bubble myself. So I should have been more restrained with what I do.
Okay, so stuck in animation.
And I should have peeked instead. No. The frame rate dropped and I thought it was the death where I died. Because I couldn't bubble myself in the right click animation, but it isn't the one. But yeah, I should have peeked around the middle pillar thing.
Yeah. So like instead of being here where all the enemies can see you, you're like over here. Yeah, I think that would work well. I think over here is decent, but you're not putting as much pressure for your team. But yeah, we need to be up close. And then did we have shield charge or did we already use it? Yeah, so we have bubble and we have shield here. So there's a couple things we can definitely be, you know, taking cover, and then we got to be aware of like when we use our shield. For Mag's shield, it's a very short durability, like it goes down very quickly, but you can use it to walk forward and basically get you to the spot that you don't need the shield, right? So we identified you could be around the corner. So if we take up, use the shield to get here, then once we're here, now we don't need it, we can let it recharge and then we can start our poke, right? Now the other thing is kind of awareness. So what do they lead with? So we hear the rocket ult. We definitely need to be aware we're gonna take like a ton of damage now. So we have to be like ready for it and ready to pick who's not gonna die on our team. Because that's kind of the thing with Mag is Mag, you have to make sure first you're not in a position to die, and then you get to decide who on your team gets to live through your shield and your bubble and like your placement. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
My power cannot be quelled.
Oh. Okay, good. A little bit farther. You need to walk a little more forward. There you go. Good. That's much better. I would have preferred if you were a little more aggressive. So when you're not taking damage, you need to be taking the space, right? So right here we get to cover. We're good. Our health bar is not going down, and they're getting distracted by Hulk. So that's a perfect opportunity for you to walk in. So you're usually on the flip side of this, right? You have Venom, and you're the Venom. You dive in and you make people look at you, and then your Mag takes up space, right? So with Mag, you really need to look for those opportunities to be taking the space when they're available. So right here, we should already be up here a little bit faster. Okay, we have Gambit ult. Nice. Good bubble. I'd push in. Good. We're taking the space. Nice. I'm fine with this, but I'm a really aggressive player. So whenever you're the frontline tank and you have... let's think about just numbers for a second, right? If you see one person in front of you and nobody else, that means they're off doing other things. And in this scenario, I think it's fine because you guys have already basically won the fight with ults and other things. But you have to be so much more aware of what's going on behind you without looking as a frontline tank than you do as an off tank. And the only way to do that is you either stop and turn around and look, which is slow, or you just play the like awareness game of one person in front of me, 5 people behind me, right? 2 people in front of me, 4 people behind me, and you do that math equation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So is there anything you're confused on when it comes to Mag specifically so far?
I mean, conceptually, it all kind of makes sense. It's obvious. I did go through most of those things when learning Emma, but I guess his primary is my main struggle, and the what's it called? The animations I have to be aware of. Not being able to do stuff that isn't cancelable into bubble.
That makes sense. Yeah. So it's a lot of micro then instead of like more macro frontline tank. It's more Mag specific, like actually getting the damage with his left click and making sure we don't like waste bubbles and we're not stuck in an animation where we can't bubble. So how much time have you spent in the practice range just shooting like Lunas with his primary?
Not that much.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. So if you, since you played Luna, you probably know, how much pressure you can exert with Luna when you're at 0 charge for a primary fire versus when you're at 100 charge, right? So when you're at 100 charges, Emma...
Prioritize getting 100.
Yeah. And because you can put out so much pressure. With Mag, it's not as automatic as that, but it's the same concept. If you're not hitting your shots, you're an Emma at 0 charge and you're no real threat. And Emma at 0 charge with no diamond form. Whereas if you're hitting all your shots, you're properly doing the animations to where you're not stuck out, you're so much more of a frontline threat. Okay, good. We're backing up. Respect. Yeah, we gotta have a target in mind. So what's the idea behind this? Is it to try to get Gambit again?
Mostly to eat up projectiles and waste some of the ult time.
Alright, so it's kind of like a defensive ult to help your team?
Yeah, in a sense.
Okay. So let's look at the radius here.
And yeah. I too paid attention to that after the match.
Yeah. This is something, yeah, definitely just comes from switching from main tank to, from off tank to main tank. It's like you got to play like with your team. If you're playing Venom here, what you're doing is like great. If you're playing Mag, we gotta retreat with our team. It's definitely a different mode of thought.
My power cannot be
Your
quelled.
team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Are you at your computer now? Can you play a game and stream on Discord?
At my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't mind this. Okay, we're gonna use our shield to walk forward. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna use swords. That's fine. That works as well.
You shall not be harmed.
I just want to see something real quick. Okay, that's just bad. That's not on you. You're fine. Just about to ask if you ever thought of live coaching. I haven't done it much, so we're in a tough position now. Our team is already down 2 in this scenario, and your decision as a frontline tank means a lot compared to what everybody else is doing. Because these guys, they're gonna go based on what you're doing, 100%. If my mag is sticking around, that means I can stick around. And it's such a different mindset. Like when you're playing Venom, you can stick around forever because you can always get out. But you're getting your Gambit in a bad situation here, and there's only 20 seconds left. There's only 20% left for you guys to contest. So you have to make the decision. Like, I just lost 2. I should probably back out and be that anchor that tells my team, regroup, and then go for the fight at the last, like, 5%. And that, all of that, like, logic comes into play when you're the main tank. Like, you are the person who gets to decide that. But we kind of stick around here. Nice attempt. I don't mind it. Okay, Gambit ult to go in. Go find somebody to kill. Oh, we're down 2. Yeah. This is so tough. And this is just like knowing we have to touch point. And it's like now it's too late. Unfortunate. So, yeah, I mean, the big #1 thing is like make sure you're landing your left clicks and like really have time in the practice range to get a flow for all of your different abilities and know like when you can bubble, when you can't, like as far as animations go. And then we need to use our shield to push forward and take space. I feel like I haven't seen that much. We mostly use the shield defensively. So with Mag, he doesn't have the movement in order to like quickly get up here. So you have to use the shield to like compensate. So you shield to walk up to here. Now we anchor here, build it back up, and then we use shield to push in again. And then we can use our bubbles defensively. Unless there's something really specific that you're saving shield for. So like Bucky Hook, things like that. Yeah, I think if you do that, I think you'll be fine. I haven't seen like too crazy. This also was a really bad game. Your team's so split up. And I think part of that is you can actually solve as a main tank by being in the right position and like pushing forward and being that anchor for your team in the right situation. because Magneto's kind of like the dad of the cast, right? And so people will follow you. But if you're kind of hanging out here and just poking, and we're a little bit indecisive, then your team kind of falls apart around you. So does that all make sense? And then, yeah, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I think for some reason it was easier to get proactive with Emma. I mean, getting the 100 charge is just glowing go in sign that is very easy to follow and execute on. And with him, I struggle to find such openings because there isn't such a thing as charge for him. Like, outside of his rings, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it all comes down to how good are you with the left clicks. Because Mag is... He is scary to be up close, but it's not like an Emma at full charge. It's just different. He also gets a lot of his presence and like pressure from denial, like Jero's talking about in chat. So there is cooldowns that you can use, or you can think about on the other team to just deny them. Because there's on the one hand of like the Emma pressure. I'm going to get a ton of damage and I'm going to force them to respect me and like push them back. Versus Mag, I'm going to make it hard for them to actually take space and push. I'm going to make it really difficult just by shutting down their abilities, right? So if we really focus on like those two things, what abilities on the enemy team am I going to shut down? And who am I going to keep alive? And also bringing our damage up and making our presence felt on the front line as a dangerous foe that we can't just ignore. And by doing that, it's just got to be practice range. Like practice range, getting used to the projectile speed, when I'm going to reload and the animations and everything. And once you get that down, like Mag can dish out a ton of damage and be so threatening. But it's just difficult. It just takes a lot of time. So yeah, that's my advice. Would just be sit there in the practice range, get the left clicks down. Do you have any more Mag specific questions? Any like macro, or is it really just that, like finding the presence?
I also find myself hoping the Gambit gets banned because it's bad enough with a basic primary. When I pop the team up, I just can't follow where my shots go.
Yeah.
It's so weird. The tempo is weird. The speed is seemingly different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. And then it's hard enough to hit projectile shots as people are moving that are slow. And then you throw on top of it speed boost, jump boost, all this craziness. Yeah.
No, I mean, when I use my team up, it's even harder for me to land the team up shots because it kind of feels weird. Like the tempo is weird. It's not like the same as you do it with the vanilla primary. I think it's like 3-shot bursts or something. Couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah. Well, have you used the lower practice range? Let's go look at it real quick.
I will never allow Krakoa to suffer the same fate as Genosha. Ah, here they are now. Insolent fool.
So have you used this much?
Back when I was learning Venom mostly.
But not much when you've done the mag?
Yeah, I think I should. My Venom would use some work here too. Because this patch he doesn't seem threatening me at below 40% accuracy. and I average at 35. I'm just meat.
5, 4, 3.
Yeah, it's you gotta have like this helps so much. I can't. It's so difficult if you can't consistently hit these shots. This is why I don't play mag. Because like I know what it takes in order to actually put out pressure as mag, and I don't have the time in it. And then it looks like the sword is like 2. I think the other thing is the projectiles. I feel like the projectiles go at different speeds and rates. So there's a delay between when you press left click and when the shot comes out. And that's different for your right click as well. So the more time you spend with it, the better you get with each of them. To start with, I would probably...
Go
ahead.
The problem I have with practice range is like, sure I will lose LP for practicing in real matches, but these bots kind of don't represent the player movement that well because they're random and the players mostly have intention behind their moves.
I see.
That's why I usually drop it since like season 2.
Okay. That's really interesting. So you played Venom, and Venom is also technically projectile, right?
Nah,
it is hit scan.
Spell fields. It's spell fields that work like delayed hit scan in a way.
Delayed hit scan.
Like
okay.
Silex second shot.
Gotcha. So when you're in a game, I feel like you're reading people then. You're not actually reacting, you're reading. You're going to say, okay, this person's going to go here because of the flow of the game. Is that how you play?
Yeah, I that's how I learned to aim because yeah, the random movements of bots is better representation of an actual player movement in my opinion. That's mostly why I don't use practice tool beyond learning combos.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's a pretty big difference between like reading and reacting. So if we just go back and actually watch this again, understanding that.
I know that.
Let's see. Let's just watch your aim. Yeah.
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Okay, if you're a read based player, you might not get as much out of the practice range. Or you might have to consciously switch. That's really difficult. Shoot. Because different people, they learn in different ways, right? So if you're read based and you're predicting where people are going and that's how you're deciding your aim, I don't think that's actually good. I think it's much better to react based on it and then adjust your positioning and your aim via that way, right? I don't know, that's tough. So what I would do for you is I would give it a shot, right? I'd go in the practice range, spend, 5-10 minutes just hitting Lunabots, and then go play a quick play and see how it feels. And then maybe the next day I would just start with quick play, or let's see, you could try deathmatch, but doom match or whatever, try that, and just be really conscious about like picking one target and sticking with them and see which works better for you. Because you're gonna have, because of the way that you think about the enemy movements, it's gonna be different for you than most people. And I'm not sure right now what's the best course of action, whether you should change how your brain thinks about it, of predicting the enemies and reading where they're going and then versus reacting to what they're doing. That's really just going to depend on like what works best for you personally.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. And then like the number one thing with that is just be conscious, like be aware of, I'm trying to predict where this person is going, and they're either they are doing what I'm predicting or they're not, right? And you can either dive into it. You can dive into that and be like, okay, they're not going where I think they're going, so let me figure out why, and then I add that into my calculation so the read will be better next time. Or you can say, it's not working, let me switch to reaction, right? And that's going to take a lot of skill or a lot of effort to overcome and like really pay attention to. How does that sit with you? Is this,
Try
you know?
that.
Yeah?
I can imagine it's gonna be pain.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Is this model that I'm like building for you, this like read versus reaction, does that sit well with like how you view your aim?
Yeah, it describes it pretty well, but yeah. I should react more, yeah. Only reading is gambling. Gambling is bad.
Yeah. I'm a big, reader in other games that I play. I do reads. It can be great in the right situations. I think in aiming specifically, I don't think it's that great. I think it's much better for like tracking ults and positioning. Being like, I bet you they're gonna do this. It's a great skill, but it just has to be honed and used in the proper situations, right? So, yeah, a lot to think about. Definitely let me know. Like, please message me or like make a post or something on the Rivals College, Discord, and let me know how it goes after like a week of like trying to figure out what works best for you. I'm very interested. I want to know.
Yeah, I'll do. But I'm taking a break from the game as of right now.
Fair enough. Well, perfect. That'll give your brain time to work on it subconsciously and come back fresh. So, all right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much
thank
for the
you.
VOD. Of course. Hope this helps, and that'll be it for the YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, if you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Take care. God bless. I'll catch you next time. Bye.